everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Susan Timchak and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'd like to welcome you here. Today we are doing part 3 of my Christmas in July card class, and we are focusing on the Merry Mistletoe stamp set in the current annual catalog. So what I wanted to share with you first, I already have one done, but I want to share with you how to use a Stampin' It is a positioning tool, so there's no dancing involved. So I have a piece of cardstock here, and the Stampin' consists of this T-shaped plastic piece. It has a little bit of, it's not really felt, but it's kind of like a piece on the back where it helps it so it doesn't slip easy. It kind of holds nice to your workstation. And what I'm going to do, it does also come, put that aside, it does also come with a plastic sheet. Now the plastic sheet you want to make sure you don't throw away, because that is actually a part of using the Stampin' Jig. I have no clue what happened to mine. It's probably here in this stamp room somewhere. So because I don't have them, I'm using a piece of vellum. Now if you have a wood mount stamp set, you can actually do this first step and keep this vellum piece in with your stamp set so that this part of it will not have to be repeated. But because I have the red rubber that I need to use acrylic blocks, it's always going to be put on possibly in a different spot than every single time I use it. So unfortunately, this would be the step that I have to, repeat each time. That's one of the advantages of having a wood mount. So, back to using this Stampin' Jig. So I'm going to use my piece of vellum, and the reason I'm using vellum is so I can see through it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right up, butt it up against that corner. I'm going to, and here comes the breeze, so I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to go right into the corner, and I'm going to stamp on the vellum. Okay. So now I do have this stamped on a piece of designer series paper that coordinates with it, but it was my last piece, and I didn't want to go ahead and cut another sheet, so I'm just using a piece of Whisper White here. So now what I'm going to do is, you do want to be careful if you're using the plastic sheet or the vellum, because it takes a while to dry on the vellum. The plastic sheet, it probably won't dry. It'll just wipe off, so you can use your Stampin' Scrub and Stampin' Mist to clean that off when you're done and keep reusing that over and over again. But on the vellum here I have, so I'm going to be careful so I don't smear it on my card. Now I could decide where do I want to put this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go like, right in the center here. So I'm going to put that piece that's there. I'm going to bring this tool back in. I'm going to butt it up in the corner like before. Okay, so you'll take this piece away, put it under there so it doesn't blow away. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp, and I'm going to go right into the corner, take that away, and there you have it, perfectly straight. I love it. It is something that I believe everyone should have in their stamping box. There are other items out there that people spend a lot of money on, but this is really inexpensive and it does the job every time. Another great feature of Stampin' Up! Products is that the cherry cobbler ink that I used matches perfectly with the cherry cobbler marker, so that if for some reason there was part of this that didn't stamp well, you can just go ahead with your marker and color in and fill in any missing spots, and when it dries it's going to be the same exact color, which is a must, because you don't have to worry about it not fitting. So look how perfectly straight that is. And I really forget to use this all the time, and I'm just going to have to keep it here on my stamp desk so that I do. So let's pull in the one. Now let's see, on this one, maybe it could use a little bit of filling in here. And when it goes on, it's going to be a little darker, but when the ink dries, that's going to blend right in and you're not even going to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and use Garden Green, and I'm going to use this little tiny stamped tree. And what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to stamp it. Now I'm going to stamp it once, and then I'm going to stamp it again. And that's called second generation stamping. Let's do that again. I like the look of that. Stamp it once, stamp it again. I just think that is so fun. Now you could even go and do like a third time if you want. Let's see how that is. That's even cute too. Kind of looks like it's just a bunch of trees just hanging out. And second and third generation stamping. So isn't that fun? It's just another way to use this. You know what? Let me show you something else while I'm doing that. So that's on the designer series paper, and it stamps really well. So let's go back to that original one that we had, and let's try it on the Whisper White, because it's going to show up so much nicer. See that nice crisp image you get on that? That's the difference between the quality of the Stampin' Up! Inks and Stampin' Up! Papers, as opposed to ones that you may go ahead and get in the stores. The quality is just not there. And that is one of the reasons I am a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I've been with Stampin' Up! Now since the year 2000. And I don't see myself ever leaving Stampin' Up! So I love the quality. The quality is there. You just can't get that on maybe somewhere where you may purchase your supplies, and they're a lot less, well, I want to say that maybe you feel they're cheaper. Well, in my book, you get what you pay for. So I stand by Stampin' Up! Products immensely. All right, so there we go. We got that. So I'm going to use my fast fuse. And again, if you notice it's not advancing, just give it a little help there. Okay, and you want a light pressure again with your fast fuse, and do that little check mark, and that will help to keep that tape runner in line while you're doing your crafting. So okay, we're just going to have a little border, and if you notice, a lot of my cards, that's how they're done, with a little border on the edge. Now I'm going to go ahead and this needs a little sparkle. So I'm using this beautiful metallic edged ribbon, and it's, again, Stampin' Up! All the products I use are Stampin' Up!, and it's beautiful ribbon. That's another thing. I put a piece of Whisper White on the inside, by the way. The Stampin' Up! Ribbon, it coordinates as well with all of our colors, so you just can't get that anywhere else, you know. And for ease of sake, I'm just going to tie a knot on this. Okay, just like that. Stunning knot. I'm going to use my paper snips, which love these too. Can't live without them. Look how nice they cut that ribbon. That ribbon is just beautiful. Okay. Now you can slide this anywhere on your card that you want. So maybe if you, you know, adhered your piece of cardstock on there and it wasn't so straight, like how mine is never straight, I'm just going to use that ribbon, and that's just going to finish that up, and there you have it. Now if you really want to add a little more bling, and I'm all about the bling, I'm going to go ahead and pull some of these rhinestones. I'm going to use these smaller ones, and just going to kind of scatter them about on the card just to add a little bit more bling, because I mean, Christmas is all about the glitz and the glamour and the bling. Although for me, I mean, I always love bling. So okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to put one more. There we go. Now, doesn't that look great? I mean, isn't that just quick, simple, easy, but it just really, it's perfect in my book. All right. Well, that is the end of my series of 3 cards. So if you missed my class, you didn't miss anything. I showed you exactly how to create. And if there's any products that I use that you're interested in purchasing, you can go to my online store at www.stampingsue.stampinup.net. And you can check out some project ideas on there. I have a link right on that site to my blog where I post all kind of fun things on there too. And check out my events page. I'm going to have another Christmas card class coming up in August. and I know you're going to make sure not to miss that one. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope maybe you learned a little something today that you can carry away with your stamping projects. So I hope you have a super Stampin' day. Glimmer hugs to you all, and I'll see you all again real soon. Bye bye.